There's a chess formula quietly deciding your national team's fate at the World Cup, and almost nobody knows it exists. FIFA rankings decide who gets seeded, who avoids the scary groups, and who gets the easier road to the final. Get ranked wrong, and your team could face a nightmare group through no fault of their own. So how does this mysterious number actually get calculated? Why does beating a terrible team barely move the needle? And why did one team stay ranked in the top 3 for years, while everyone online argued they didn't deserve it? Let's get into it. FIFA didn't invent this system from scratch. They borrowed it from chess. It's called the ELO system, built decades ago to measure how good a chess player actually is based on results, not reputation. FIFA adopted a version of it in 2018 for national soccer teams. In theory, that's a smart move. Chess players have used this exact math for decades. In practice, it means soccer rankings now work a lot like a video game leaderboard, constantly recalculating after every single match. Here's where it gets interesting. The actual formula looks intimidating. Your new points equal your old points, plus a match importance number, times the difference between what actually happened and what was expected to happen. Translation: if you win a game you were supposed to win, you barely gain anything. If you win a game nobody expected you to win, you gain a ton. This sounds simple. It isn't, but the core idea is easy. Shock results move the needle way more than predictable ones. Here's the part that trips people up. Beating a bottom-ranked team gives you almost nothing. Beating a top team gives you a lot. It's basically the same logic as a video game. Crushing a low-level enemy barely levels you up, but taking down the final boss is worth way more experience. That's also why a huge upset makes headlines twice, once for the shocking result, and again a few days later, when the rankings shift and everyone loses their minds about it. Not every match carries the same weight either. A random friendly, worth very little. A World Cup qualifier, worth a lot more. A knockout match deep into the World Cup itself, worth the most points of anything on the calendar. So a scrappy friendly win over a mid-table team barely moves your ranking. But winning a World Cup quarterfinal, that's basically a jackpot for your ranking points. You know the type of team that racks up rankings, points quietly through boring qualifiers nobody watched. That's most of the top 10, if we're honest. Here's a rule that genuinely surprised me. If you lose a World Cup knockout match, your ranking points don't actually drop. FIFA specifically built in a protection for that, so reaching the knockout stage doesn't accidentally make you look worse than a team that never even qualified. That feels fair, honestly. Making the round of 16 and losing shouldn't tank you below a team that didn't even show up to the tournament. This is the example every soccer fan brings up eventually. For years, Belgium sat near the top of the rankings, sometimes above teams that felt objectively better. Fans constantly argued Belgium didn't deserve it. Here's the actual explanation. Belgium quietly won match after match in qualifiers and Nations League games without ever losing. The formula doesn't care about vibes or performances at a big tournament. It only cares about the math of consistent results over time. My honest reaction: the rankings aren't measuring who's the best team right now. They're measuring who's avoided losing the longest. Here's the payoff. These rankings aren't just trivia. They directly decide World Cup seeding, which pot your team lands in, and ultimately who you face in the group stage. A slightly higher ranking at the right moment can mean an easier group. A slightly lower ranking can mean a nightmare draw. So that confusing math formula everyone ignores, it's quietly shaping your team's entire tournament before a ball is even kicked. So let's circle back. There's a chess formula deciding World Cup fates, and almost nobody understands how it works. Here's the one sentence that sums it up. FIFA rankings reward consistency and shocking upsets far more than raw talent. And that's exactly why the numbers sometimes don't match the eye test. So here's a question worth sitting with. Is a ranking system built on math a fairer way to judge national teams, or does it just reward the teams that are best at gaming the calendar? If this finally made FIFA rankings make sense, subscribe. There's a lot more World Cup breakdowns coming as the tournament plays out.